Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of State of the Build here on the Peak Auto YouTube channel. We've got a pretty awesome one coming your way, one that a lot of you have asked for. We've got Mook from Junkyard Digs. So excited to have her on the show and hear about her 78 F150. Let's shoot her a text. Hi Mook, thank you so much for making the time to do this episode with me today. I'm really excited to hear about your truck. Fun fact, my family had a 78 F150 growing up, and it was such a great truck, and I have so many awesome memories in that rig. So I'm really excited to hear about yours. So tell me about when you found it and when you guys went to pick it up.
Hey Emily, it's good to see you. Good to be on the show and have the opportunity to show off my 78 that I so lovingly call Booger. I think that's awesome that you also had a 78 and you got to cruise around in it and whatnot. How often were you told that it's actually a 79? Because personally, I'm told that mine is a 79 every 5 minutes. Seriously. Let's see, the story of how I got this truck. I actually was not the one to find it. Kevin, just over a year ago, sent me a listing for 2 trucks down in Des Moines, which is about 40 minutes south of us. He originally was looking at the other truck in this ad because it was some rusty 4x4, and I'm not really sure what his goal with that one was, but he wanted to go check it out. And I'm all about adventures that lead to looking at old cars, of course. So I jumped right in the truck and we headed straight to Des Moines. We get to this guy's house and he had probably 15 or so cars in his yard. And of course these two were in the way back, stuck behind all of them. So Kevin's checking out the 4x4 and I'm immediately pulled towards this one. I loved the look of it. I loved the stripes, the colors, all the little details of it. I didn't really pay much mind to the other one, to be honest. Kevin decided he didn't want that 4x4 and turned around and saw me just staring at this truck. And then it was decided if we get either one of these trucks, it's gonna be this one. We talked to the guy, tried to learn a little bit more of the history, but it turns out this truck had been stolen previously, and he had gotten it from an auction since it was stolen. So this truck here has a salvage title because of that, and we don't know the entire history of it, but at that point we decided let's bring it home and see what we can do with it. This is actually my first project truck, and it's been a wild ride, I'll tell you that much. But we loaded it up on the trailer and brought it home, and then we started working on it. So yeah, it's been a fun truck to have. It's been a frustrating and stubborn truck to have, but it's been fun.
That's cracking me up. No one ever tried to tell me that our 78 was a 79, but you see, the reason is because I wasn't on the internet when I was a little kid, and I didn't have all those internet experts to tell me things that I didn't know. Oh my gosh, I think the name Booger is really cute. It's adoring because it is green and many shades of green, and I love that. And that's funny. You guys found the truck, you brought it home, and it's your first project truck. I hope you never sell it. Please don't ever get rid of it. You'll regret it. I promise. Even if it's the biggest pain in your side, you will regret selling it if you ever get rid of it. What was the first things that you found whenever you started working on it? Were there any surprises, or has it just been an easy, smooth going deal? And does it drive yet? It's gonna be fun to hear the stories.
Yeah, I literally just started calling it Booger one day out of the blue, and it just stuck. And the more I work on it, the more I realize how fitting that nickname is for it. So thank you. I also like the name. But getting the truck home and working on it. When we first pushed it off the trailer, we threw some fuel at it and threw a battery in it just to see what it would do and if it would fire up and whatnot, but it didn't. And so we let it sit for a little bit while we finished up some other stuff, because that was back when we were moving into our house actually. So I couldn't get started on it right away, but when I did, the first thing I did was an oil change, and I pulled the plug out, and all of a sudden like a gallon of water came out first, and then some of the grossest oil I've ever seen. And then we realized, wow, this was probably flooded. The first time it ran, we actually had it pushed into our garage, and when we fired it up, revved it a little bit, it sprayed our white walls with the grossest, rustiest water I have ever seen. It all just came out of the exhaust. On my passenger side here, I don't have, the exhaust is gone, it's fallen off. But over here, I still have it. And we'll just say it painted our walls. Absolutely dark brown. And this truck is one of the most stubborn vehicles I've ever encountered, but I do not have plans to sell it because, like you said, I would regret it, and I know that. I know I would regret it. At that time when it sprayed the wall with all that rusty water, I didn't know the situation of all the components of this truck, so I didn't want to cause any further damage until I could do some more serious digging into it. So at that point, I decided it didn't run, and it wasn't going to until I dove into it more. Today it does. It does.
I cannot imagine whenever it fired up and blew all that gross water out of the exhaust system. Oh my gosh, I bet you guys were like, what the heck? Oh, another flood victim in your shop. And now the life preserver on the side mirror makes sense. So have you guys wrenched on it since then? Have you done any mods yet? I'm really excited to hear the plans for the truck because I'm really glad you're not gonna sell it. It's not just like, oh yeah, we're gonna get it running and sell it. Like, no, this one's staying around. It's a family member. What are the plans for her?
Yes, I agree. Booger Truck is part of the family, so whether Kevin likes it or not, it's here to stay.
Damn it.
This truck is very stubborn, so his reaction is valid. But yes, I'll show you what I have done to this truck so far. Okay, first I'll take you inside the truck. I had a fan send me a new dash pad actually because the original one I had was pretty cracked from just being stored outside, and this fan got a hold of me and said he had one just laying around, and if I paid shipping he would be happy to send it my way, and that's exactly what we did. It's a little dusty right now, but I think it looks great. Kevin had this radio sitting around, so I was able to replace my old one, which is sitting right there at the moment. And then this right here was also broken, and we have a couple of this era of Ford trucks laying around, so I was able to snag one from one of them and replace that. And then as far as other modifications go, I'll quickly run through what we did. We first went through the brake system. As you can see, I have a new brake booster. I did get a new brake reservoir here. It just looks really old and gross because I painted it and then I got brake fluid all over it. Next thing that we did was I actually went through the entire fuel system. I replaced my gas tank and fuel sending unit and temporarily used rubber hose because that is what was available and I could afford at the time. I have a new mechanical fuel pump down there, new fuel filter right here, and for my birthday, Kevin got me a 4-barrel 600 CFM carburetor. I was so excited! And then a fan also reached out about the intake as well, so I was able to get the proper intake for my new carburetor. This is also a new distributor because we basically destroyed the other one. Well, first we tried to time it, and then we realized it was very much stuck in the engine, which was no big deal because I always was planning on replacing it, so it was just a matter of we need to get this out of here. At that point, Kevin and I took the coil off and spray painted it black. And then in one of the first episodes, one of my thermostat bolts, the head got snapped off when we were trying to remove it. And we just recently were able to get the rest of that bolt out of there. And we attempted to fix it, get a new gasket, a new thermostat, a new bolt for that spot, but it leaks and you can kind of see the wet spot there. I'm not sure if it's just a gasket issue or not, but we just haven't addressed it yet, but I'm not too worried about it.
Isn't it the coolest thing that we put videos out there and people feel like they know us and they're so excited to share their abundance with us, abundance being car parts? That's awesome. I love that, dude. And all of the tweaks that you guys have done have been wonderful. It sounds like it's gonna be a great driver. The dash and the whole interior actually looks really pretty on that truck. I love Booger. Drive it to Texas and visit us. So are you keeping with that engine combo or are you gonna change that engine out at any point? What's the plan there?
I entirely agree. I love our fans. I love reading comments from them, and I just want to say, if any of you fans who have helped me find parts or sent me parts for this are watching this, I thank you very, very much. I love it all. I love it and I'm so grateful. As far as keeping this engine, I actually, not many people know this. I have responded to a few comments and mentioned it, but otherwise it's been kind of quiet. But I do have a 302 I could put in there. Right now it is in storage. I'm hoping to, at some point, bring that engine here to my shop, start tearing it down and send it off to a machine shop, and then in the future, hopefully swap it into here so I'm not running around in a flooded engine. We still believe that this is a 351 modified. Not 100% sure, but that's just what we've been going with and have been telling people and been telling part shops, and so far it's been going fine. But yes, I do have a 302 I can throw in there and hopefully gonna throw into there, so future mods are being planned.
You know, I'm a pretty big fan of the 302. That's what we have in our Bronco. We got ours out of a Fox body, so it's the roller motor, but man, it's great. We put the Holley Sniper fuel injection on it and she runs. Ah, that's so fun, babe. I'm so excited to get a scoop on this truck. I think Booger is just lovely and I would absolutely adore to see y'all roll up into town to visit us. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to toss some videos back and forth with me. I love shooting this series, but I wish that we could do it in person and not texting videos back and forth. But you know, it's been really cool to get inside scoops on my friends' builds and also make some new friends. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Give Kevin a high five for me, and I'm excited to make lots of people very happy with this episode because so many folks have asked to see you on here. So it was awesome having you, Mook. Thank you so much.
Kevin. That's from Emily.
Oh, hi, Emily.
All right, thank you to Peak for sponsoring this show, and also thank you to Emily for hosting it and letting me show off my green 78 for a bit. Great to talk to you, Emily. Thank you for reaching out to me and having me on the show. It was a lot of fun.
As always, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I absolutely love having other ladies on this series. It's so cool to see the diversity. Like when we had Alex Taylor, she's building thousands of horsepower, insane chassis builds, all the way to Mook, who's got her first build, just getting her feet wet in automotive and having a blast doing it. I love showing that versatility and diversity, and we're all in this together. So if you guys have other suggestions of other folks you want to see on this series, please comment below and let us know. We're always open for suggestions. We love and appreciate y'all. Like and subscribe and comment. We'll see y'all on the next episode.